I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They're hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. I will not sleep. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. Translation of a Spaniard's Journal, 1880. In 2006, the internet birthed a creature of collective cruelty. Its DNA comprised of dozens of demented dreams of dread. The gestation began on image board 4chan's B board in 2005, seeking community input in creating a new monster. Hundreds of voices formed a chorus of creation, and the monster's details were solidified piece by horrifying piece. A pale humanoid, 6 feet tall but moving on all fours, 2 black eyes, slightly larger than those of a human, no nose, and a small slit of a mouth that, when provoked, opens up into a maw of teeth down to the creature's neckline. This creature was given a name as well, the Rake. It climbed its way out of the womb of the World Wide Web, glistening with viscera and malice, on July 20th, 2006. In the blog post of Something Awful user Brian Somerville, who gave the creature an origin that echoed the works of horror maestros such as Bram Stoker, Mary Shelley, and H.P. Lovecraft. Somerville's story is told via a collection of accounts, letters, and correspondence spanning from the 18th century to the 2000s. Accounts telling of a creature that haunts the northeastern United States. The accounts span across centuries, but they all have one thing in common. A monstrous creature stalks the victim, watches them sleep, and terrorizes them to the point of insanity. Over the next 4 years, the Rake would build a devoted following, cementing it as a horror icon of the internet age, thus joining the ranks of other hive mind horrors such as the SCP Foundation's plethora of the paranormal and the iconic Slender Man. Told in tales across 4chan, Tumblr, and other corners of the internet. In 2010, the creature seemed to be the basis for a chimera alien monster in Sony's PlayStation alternate history wargame, The Resistance 3. This creature was known as the Grim. The creature would come in and out of vogue until 2018, where it surfaced somewhere unexpected, the real world. In Season 1, Episode 15 of Travel Channel's Paranormal Caught on Camera, which aired in 2018 and collects video footage of paranormal events and creatures which are submitted for review. A panel of paranormal researchers, cryptozoologists, and investigators were shocked by footage out of Portland, Oregon. Which seems to show the creature aggressively charging a young man who captured the footage on his cell phone. Reviewing the footage on the program, Ben Kissel, host of Last Podcast on the Left, suggests that the creation of the Rake Online somehow willed the creature into existence in real life. Are you liking what we've willed into existence on this channel? If so, let us know by liking this video and subscribing to Dark Frontier. You have to wonder, what makes these things real, Kissel asks. Does the collective unconscious create these entities so that they can manifest themselves and become visible? Fellow panelist on the show and paranormal investigator Brian Cano suggests that it's entirely possible. When people and a culture talk about something enough, a topic is created which is essentially something from nothing. In paranormal circles, this was famously done in something called the Philip experiment. Could the Philip experiment be a clue in how the Rake could have come into being? This experiment, performed in Ontario, Canada in 1972, was a parapsychology experiment to test whether humans could communicate with fictionalized spirits by sheer force of will.
Come on. Start moving. Come on. They want you to move.
Hello, Philip. Are you there?
Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Philip. Hi, Philip.
The team was led by mathematical geneticist Dr. A.R. George Owen and overseen by psychologist Dr. Joel Witten. During the experiment, the group created a man named Philip Aylesford. Philip was born in England in 1642 and had an early military career. He was knighted by the age of 16. He was involved in the English Civil War and became close friends with Charles II, working for him as a spy. Philip was unhappily married to a woman named Dorothy and later fell in love with a Romani girl who was burned at the stake, accused of witchcraft. In despair, Philip committed suicide in 1654 at the age of 30. His backstory was filled with contradictions and errors to further test how such a thing can come into being. And allegedly, it worked. The group reported being touched, having things move in the room, and Philip rapping upon the table in response to questions they asked him. The event was such a success that they manifested others soon after. Lilith, a French-Canadian spy during World War II. Sebastian, a medieval alchemist, and Axel, a man from the future. So if these things could be created by a group so small with one goal in mind, what's to say something like the Rake couldn't? So, was the Rake born in the digital age as the brainchild of horror fans and creators looking for a thrill? Or is it an extension of something more ancient, something that's been here all along? It's fast, stalks on all fours, described as moving human, but not, with haunting eyes and abominable features, and a disposition that could be described as nothing short of diabolical. But it's not the Rake we're describing now. The Navajo word for it is Yinatlushi. We know it more commonly as the Skinwalker. A creature described commonly as a hairless dog with piercing eyes that is said to scream and scramble after unsuspecting victims, frightening them to the point of near insanity. A terror of Native American folklore, from when America was a land of mystery, with ethereal spirits wandering the plains and woods that stretched seemingly on forever. A terror that carries such a strong cultural scar that its name is not uttered by those that believe in it. Whew, didn't know I wasn't supposed to say it. Indigenous lore describes the Skinwalker as a sinister witch with the ability to turn into, possess, and disguise themselves as something animal but not. The Skinwalker is real to the Native Americans and has existed longer than any of us could likely ever know. Was it itself a terrifying creation of the mind? Perhaps. Did the Skinwalker perhaps subconsciously bleed into the imaginations of those that bore the Rake to life? Now that we seemingly have proof that the Rake exists outside the internet, we have to ask, what horrible will could allow creatures such as these to walk among us? And if the human mind is capable of fabricating entities like Philip and the Rake, what else is it capable of?